Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. On this channel, we spend our time looking at fantasy of all sorts, from books to movies to video games, and applying the characters within into the tabletop game Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. And today, we're looking at possibly the most famous wizard of the modern era, a wizard that has been well known in a popular fantasy universe, the Harry Potter universe. This is the headmaster of Hogwarts that taught Harry Potter himself, Dumbledore. Albus Dumbledore, the headmaster. Dumbledore is, by his own confession and the confession of everyone else in the Harry Potter world, the most powerful wizard out there. And even the great Voldemort himself feared Dumbledore. But what would Dumbledore look like in a game of D&D? I think I have a pretty good answer for that. Dumbledore is in fact human-born. He has a neutral good alignment, being the kind that is willing to break rules but prefers to choose depending on the situation. He is a sage, being a professor by trade. And as far as his background, he was an Auror before he was a teacher at Hogwarts, which actually puts him into a subclass called the War Wizard. War Wizards show a preference for both offense and defensive magic, so they actually have a good combination of the two. As far as his stats go, his strength and dexterity are nothing particularly special. They're 10 apiece. His constitution is 16. He can hold his focus very, very well. His intelligence is 20, showing that he has an expert knowledge of magic. And his wisdom and charisma are both 16, pretty high. He's a good strategist, able to concoct long-term plans, and charismatic enough to lead pretty much an entire order of wizards. He's proficient in Constitution, Intelligence, and Wisdom saving throws, and is proficient in Arcana, History, Insight, and Investigation, showing a love for those things that are knowledge-based. He's quite an old man, at 110 years, about 5'9", 130 pounds, with white skin, blue eyes, and gray hair. He wields 3 very specific items. First of all, he wields the Elder Wand, which, for the purposes of this, I've just called a Staff of Power. The Staff of Power in wand form, which gives him access to a lot more magical powers and spells. He also wears the Robe of the Archmage, which gives him a significant boost to his defenses and his magical defenses. And he wields the Sword of Gryffindor, which for the purposes here, I'm just calling a +3 magic sword that he happens to also be proficient in. And considering that he doesn't have a whole lot of strength or dexterity, it's not his first line of choice, but it means that he can wield a weapon if he wants to. He can speak Common, Elvish, Dwarvish, and Sylvan, all the languages of the major races, and wields simple weapons, and obviously the sword that I mentioned earlier. Because he is such a powerful wizard with amazing abilities, I put him as a level 18 wizard. His health, therefore, is 128. As a sage, he has the Researcher feature, and as a wizard, he has Arcane Recovery, the Arcane Deflection as a War Wizard, the Tactical Wit, the Power Surge, and the Durable Magic Power, the Deflecting Shroud to give him a good amount of defense, and his Spell Mastery feature, which gives him a couple leveled spells that he can cast as cantrips. And then he does have 5 different feats that he picked up both as a variant human and as a level 18 wizard. Inspiring Leader, as the leader of the greatest wizarding school. The Keen Mind power, helping him remember things with incredible accuracy. The Mage Slayer power, which feeds back to his time as an Auror when he would hunt evil mages. He also has Resilient Constitution, which is how he got that proficiency, and the Warcaster feature, which is pretty standard for mages. But as a wizard, his bread and butter is his spell casting, and my oh my, does Dumbledore have a list of spells at his disposal. For his cantrips, he can cast Dancing Lights, Mage Hand, Minor Illusion, Firebolt, and Ray of Frost. He also has the power, because of his spell mastery feature, to cast both See Invisibility and Shield at will. This gives him a much better defensive ability because he doesn't have to burn through his spell slots just to keep himself safe. Then, at level 1, he can cast the Alarm spell, the Chromatic Orb spell, Detect Magic, Find Familiar in order to call upon his Phoenix, Identify, Magic Missile, Witch Bolt, and Unseen Servant. At level 2, he can cast Arcane Lock, Continual Flame, Gust of Wind, Hold Person, Locate Object, Magic Mouth, Phantasmal Force, and Shatter. As we go through these spells, you'll see several of them have been seen in the Harry Potter universe as being used by other wizards, and it's reasonable to assume that Dumbledore would be able to use pretty much any spell that any other wizard could use. A theme that continues as we look at his third level spells: Counterspell, Dispel Magic, Fireball, Glyph of Warding, Lightning Bolt, and Remove Curse. At level 4, he can control water, use Dimension Door, and Stone Shape. Level 5, he can cast Animate Objects, Modify Memory, a spell we see him very clearly talk about in the movies, Pass Wall, Scrying, and Telekinesis. Level 6, he can learn Contingency, Disintegrate, Globe of Invulnerability, and Guards and Wards. A very, very easy spell to pinpoint for his numerous hideouts and, of course, Hogwarts itself. At the 7th level, he can cast Symbol, Teleport, and the Cruciatus Curse, Power Word Pain. To go even further, at level 8, there is the Invictus Curse, the Mind Control Curse of Dominate Monster, and he can also use Power Word Stun. And then, a spell that Dumbledore has never been shown to use, but he certainly could if he needed to, Power Word Kill, Avada Kedavra. Spells of these nature are very, very powerful, and that's why they are forbidden in Wizarding Society, but that doesn't mean Dumbledore couldn't use them if he needed to. And with these at his disposal, level 9 spells and a myriad of other magical powers, Dumbledore is a vastly superior wizard and would be incredibly difficult to take down against his will. In fact, in the lore of the Harry Potter universe, the only reason he died was because he allowed himself to die. I think that it is easy to establish that he is one of the greatest spellcasters in all of fiction, and Albus Dumbledore would be a wonderful character to place into a magic-based D&D game, as an arch-wizard, as a wandering wizard, as an ancient sage that you would seek answers from, perhaps as a ally against a final boss. He is one of the greats, and deserves a place at the tabletop. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below, and keep your eyes peeled for more character creations coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.